Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another broadcast of the Sports Block. We are here at Mustang Field tonight for this matchup of Middle Creek against Green Hope. Tonight, Middle Creek comes in this game at 5-3, and they are 3-0 in the conference. And Green Hope is currently 4-2, and they are 3-1 in the conference. So it looks to be a great game tonight, and you know it's beautiful outside, and it's a great day to play baseball. I'm PJ Bellantoni, and I'll be running play-by-play, and I'm joined by Mike Caldarelli. He'll be running color commentary.
How you doing tonight?
Good. We're looking at Middle Creek just warming up right now. They have their starting pitcher is going to be Graham Edwards. He is number 5. He is just the lefty warming up right now, and you know Middle Creek's been playing real well this season. They're 3-0 already, and they look to keep that streak going. And it's going to be a tough game against Green Hope. You know, they just came off a win, and they just played Fuquay, and Fuquay is a very good baseball team, so we will see how this goes throughout tonight. All right, we're going to go through the starting lineups. We have David Salmon. And as we are going to start this game in just a matter of moments. As Jones is up to bat for Green Hope to start this game off. Excuse me, that is Pitora starting off for Green Hope. The first pitch is a strike. Edwards lines it up and he's going to call a ball on that one.
And you know this year they have a new bat rule here. It's called BB cores. They have the wood inside of the metal bats, so it'll be harder for them to hit with.
As he calls strike number 2. So 2-1 here is the count. And he gets the out. Now Jones is up to bat for the Falcons. As Edwards throws another strike. Ball on that pitch.
Making the count there 1-1 now with 1 out here.
The wind up and I'm going to call another ball, so we got 2-1 as the count. And he swings and a miss, so that is a strike. So 2-2 now is the count. Just a little bit low, so that's going to be called a ball.
Full count on here on Jones.
And a base hit by Jones for Green Hope. So tonight's first hit is going to be a single. And now Harden, number 13, is up to bat for Green Hope. The windup is a foul ball. So just one strike here at bat for Harden. The windup and another base hit in the outfield for Green Hope. So they will have people on first and second base. And that is good. That's good positioning for Green Hope to start this game off. Now number 17, Yoder, is at bat for the Falcons. He fouls that one off. So he starts off this with a strike. And it's just a little bit low for Edwards, so he will call that a ball. A little bit to the right, so that'll be another ball for Edwards. So the count is 2-1, and just one out in this first inning.
So we're in the gym early here. Let's see if we can get out without letting runs scored.
As Yoder fouls that one off, so he'll make the count even at 2-2. Edwards looking to line up the ball. He swung and he missed, so he is out. So that makes 2 outs to go in this inning. Just one more for the Mustangs. And at bat number 21, that is Prevost for the Falcons.
So you got Green Hope here in maroon, and you got the Middle Creek Mustangs here in their brand new jerseys with white and red.
As Prevost fouls that one to get the first strike of his count. Swing and a miss, so that is strike number 2 for Prevost. So he's starting off in the hole here pretty early, just in his count, but nothing you can't get out of. He throws it to second base for the last out in this inning. So now the Mustangs will take over at bat. And the first bat that they will throw out there is number 12, David Salmon. So he will look to start things off for the Mustangs tonight. And then after him, we are going to have Herring, number 19, and then Pelosi, number 2. And that is the first 3 bats for the Mustangs as they look to get this game going. So no runs scored for Green Hope, but they started off pretty well, and they had 2 base hits right then and there, and then they got the 2 quick outs, and then it was just that last one, and they couldn't score anything. Those runs were stranded on the base, and they just left them out there.
So we got for Green Hope here, Scalisi up the pitcher's mound, warming up a little bit here before we get on our way to the bottom of the first. So Middle Creek this year is shooting for their 4th conference championship win. They got 3 so far. They got one in 06, 07, and 09. So let's see if they can do it this year for them. And this year it looks like they're being sponsored here by Nike. So those nice uniforms there. As well as Green Hope looks like they're being sponsored by Nike. So throw down the second with the warm-up, and we're going to start the bottom of the half.
And, you know, Middle Creek has a lot of competition here in the Tri-9, playing Holly Springs, who did win the state championship last year.
That is true.
They only lost one guy last year, and that was just one senior they had on the entire team. So they're looking to come back pretty strong this year.
And with Middle Creek losing pretty much half of their team last year, for this year, excuse me, because mostly seniors.
As Salmon fouls that one off to get the first strike of his at-bat. So Scalisi winds up.
It's a hard hit up the middle there.
So Salmon gets a single to start this game off for the Mustangs. And it's a pretty solid way to start things off. So now we're going to see Herring at bat.
As Scalisi looks him back there, making sure he's not going anywhere. It's great to be aware.
As Herring is called for the strike as he missed the bunt attempt.
We got Jimmy Boy there on deck warming up. Next time up.
So Herring is 0-1 right now with one strike. Still no outs to go for the Mustangs right now. So now he was 0-2 after the bunt attempt is missed again. So 2 strikes for Herring on this bat.
Salmon's there taking a pretty big lead there at first, looking to run. Great stop there by Green Hope's catcher, Yoder.
So Herring is 1-2 at his at-bat. With Scalisi wind up, and Herring with a rip to the outfield, and is going to fall for, it looks like a double for Herring. So Salmon is going to advance to third with Herring at second base.
Was right in the pocket there for left field and center field. It's just a really hard hit. No one was quick enough to get it there. So Herring with his stand-up double. Salmon at first advances to third. With none out here, and Jimmy Boyd's up to bat.
Something to keep your eyes on too. Middle Creek also has no outs to go, and they have people on third and second base, so it is a good opportunity for them to score and put some runs on the board.
A base hit could score 2 here for them. It's a hard hit to shortstop.
And he is called out after the great hustle effort to try to make it to first, but didn't make it in time. But they still do get 1 run, as sort of a sacrifice, sort of hit into the infield to get Salmon to score. So the Mustangs are up 1-0 right now.
And you know, there's nothing wrong with that for that sacrifice. It still looks good for the Mustangs to get that 1 run in.
As Parker is going to foul that one. So he is in 1 strike right now, and his at-bat.
Looked like a confusion there with our coach Thompson there, and the umpire didn't hear the call at all. So Herring was trying to steal home.
So now the count is even at 1-1 for Parker. He's now 2-1 after the low ball from Scalisi. So now he is up 2-1. As he rips that.
Third base line there. He's going to get a stand-up double out of that and score Keenan Herron for 2 runs now with 1 out.
Good hit there, 10.
So now Scholler is up at bat for the Mustangs as they are up 2-0 in this first inning. Low ball there by Scalisi.
Parker stealing from second to third. Nobody was watching him at second there. So he got that easy run down there.
So he has, so Scholler has the potential RBI here to put the Mustangs up 3. As Scalisi has the windup and Scholler rips it down to the outfield. And it's a base hit. And he is going to stay at first, and he's going to score Parker. So now the Mustangs are up 3-0 in this first inning.
It's a great way to start the baseball game here. Come out and score 3.
So now the pitcher for the Mustangs is up at bat, Edwards.
And we got Sal Severies there on deck.
As Scalisi throws a ball right down the middle and is called for a strike.
Parker taking a pretty big lead there. And they're really not even paying attention to him.
As Scalisi just throws it low and it is called for a ball, so Edwards is at 1-1.
You know, it's looking like a lot of them are low in the dirt, but the Mustangs are just going at him anyway to get those high balls out there in the outfield.
So the count at 2-1 for Edwards as Scalisi looks to wind up here. Edwards rips one right down the middle, and he's going to get a single. So now we have men on first and second base for the Mustangs.
You know, if Greenhope's first baseman wasn't covering first there for Schollers, he probably would have been able to grab that, and the pitcher would have ran to first and get that out. But, you know, he hit it right in that pocket, which helped him a lot.
Now it looks like the coach is going to talk to Scalisi just to try to gather his thoughts and just try to help him out a little bit and see what's going on, see if he can do anything.
Calm him down a little bit. You know, he's throwing a lot of low ones. You know, get his accuracy back up there and back in the strike zone.
And Severies is warming up, getting ready to face Scalisi. I mean, pretty fast start here for the Mustangs, scoring 3 runs here in just the first inning, and they look to keep it going. As Severies hits one foul, so he's 0-1 to start his at-bat.
Looks a little late there on that hit. Quicken it up a little bit and just go out there.
As he is 1-1 right now with the pitch to the left, so that is called for a ball. He is 1-1.
Catcher going to talk to pitcher there for a little bit.
As Scalisi winds up and has a called strike. So Severies is 1-2.
Severies definitely didn't like that call. He was questioning a little bit.
As he rips one down the middle, but it is fielded and a double play for the Falcons, so they are coming up at bat in the second inning now, and they look to score some runs to help their team out.
You know, that double play right there looked really close. Looked like Sal, had it. He definitely looked at the umpire saying, "What are you doing?" But the ump stayed with his call to make it the top of the second.
So now Green Hope is looking to bat as Edwards comes back up to the plate, looking to warm up a little bit before he faces his next batter.
So we got Dirks coming up at bat here for Green Hope. He's the DH, so he's definitely a hard hitter, looking to power. So we got our own Kevin Brunson out there warming up the pitcher. So shoulders, so he can get his gear on. Looks like he's ready to rock and roll.
So we have Dirks getting ready to take his at-bat, looking to score some runs for his pitcher.
So the Mustangs had great offense there in the first inning. Now let's see if they have that defense to back it up. So they keep their 3-0 lead.
As Dirks gets a swing and a miss, and it is called for a strike. And he fouls one off, so that is going to be an 0-2 count. Looking at 2 strikes here for Dirks.
Edwards looking really good here after that first inning. It's looking really loose, throwing some heat there.
He swing and a miss, so a 1-2-3 at bat for Dirks. So he is about to sit down right now.
That's a big strikeout there for the Mustangs, definitely helping them out.
So now the Falcons pitcher, Scalossi, is up at bat. And Edwards' pitch is a little low, so that is going to be a ball. And he rips that one in the outfield, and he's trying to get himself some own run support right now, so he is going to stay at first.
That's right over the head of our shortstop there, Colin Pelosi. He tried to jump and grab it, but a little too high for him. Thank goodness Keenan Herring out there with the backup to keep it only a single for them. So Parker playing tight there at first, making sure Scalisi doesn't go anywhere.
And Waters swing and a miss, so he is 0-1 right now in his count.
Edwards definitely looking at him, telling him don't go at all. That was a great throw down there by Shoulders, but it looked like Parker wasn't ready at all. But it kept Scalisi not moving anyway, so that works.
So now Waters is 0-2 in the hole, and he takes a swing, and it is fouled.
The advantage here for lefty pitcher is he can just watch at first. Doesn't have to, turn his head at all. And if he makes that, pickoff move, you just got to throw it straight and not do a whole 360 to throw it down. Definitely helps him out a lot.
As Waters gets the ball call, so he is 1-2 at the count.
Got one out here. Still checking out there on Scalisi, making sure he doesn't go anywhere.
As Waters hits one in the outfield, and it is not going to be fielded, so he has a single.
And a error there, thrown to third. That was questionable. So now you got the runner advance from first to third, and you got Waters now getting a double, excuse me, instead of a single from that error. You know, you got to really make sure you hit those cutoff mans before you throw it down there. Because if it's not a good throw, you know, you get those errors and runs could be scored.
Snow Bradley is up at bat for the Falcons. And Edwards is called for the ball, so he is 1-0 right now in his count.
Still one out here in the top of the second. Middle Creek still winning 3-0.
And a swing and a miss for Bradley, so he is now 1-1.
That was a hard hack. He definitely wants to hit. He's going for power out there.
Edwards is called for the ball, so he is 2-1 in the count. Edwards is called for another ball, so he is 3-1 in this count. And
It's a hard foul ball right behind us.
Bradley fouls that one out, so he's now 3-2.
Full count could go either way now.
And as Edwards walks him, so the bases are loaded here for the Falcons. As Stephen Patara, number 7, is up at bat.
So we're back at the top of the order here for Green Hope. Still one out here with bases jammed. Middle Creek 3-0.
Edwards' pitch is called as a strike.
Really, if it wasn't for that error before, the thrown error, you could just have runners at first and second. But because of that mistake, you gotta, you know. Questionable call there, and it looked like they called it. He didn't swing, so now the count is 1-1.
Edwards' pitch is hit, and it is fouled into the woods behind us, so he is at 1-2 in the count. Wind-up end is caught by Edwards, and it is going to be caught at home plate and a double play for the Mustangs. So they end that inning with no harm done, and they are still up 3-0 going into the bottom of the second. As they look to take the bat now and look to score more runs for Edwards. It was kind of a scare for the Mustangs there, you know, when the bases were loaded and they had one more out to go. It was could have went either way. The Falcons could have scored on that, but it was just a great defensive play to stop that from happening and to keep their lead for their pitcher.
Now, luckily that that error didn't cost them any runs, because that would have definitely, you know, really upset Coach Thompson there, because that was a dumb throwing error on their part.
looks like number 8. That is Williams as at bat for the Mustangs.
Scalisi's here for Green Hope, warming up now. Get on their way to the bottom of the second. Hopefully we could see some more runs here out of the Mustangs, extend that lead.
They want to get as much breathing room as possible for Edwards and just extend their lead. And it looks like they're about to get underway as umpire dusts off the home plate and is getting ready to go. So now Williams looks to take the bat for the Mustangs. As Scalisi's pitches a heater and Williams swings and a miss. So now he is 0-1.
It's a hard hack there.
Another swing and a miss for Williams, and he is 0-2.
He's really swinging like out of his shoes on that one. I think he's trying to, hit one out of the park for them.
And Williams gets a base hit in the outfield, and he is going to land a single off of that. So, again, great start for the Mustangs here in the inning.
It's a hard hit there to the right fielder in the pocket. It's a great ground ball hit.
So now we got Guerrero up at bat for the Mustangs.
So we got a man at first here with none out.
There's a low ball there for Scalisi, and Guerrero does not buy it, and he is 1-0 in the count.
Looking like Guerrero there is looking to bunt, advance the runner from first to second.
And the bunt is foul, so he is 1-1.
Thompson loves to bunt most of his batters. He loves to advance those runners, have them, just throw it down a few times with the bunt, just to show that they can do it.
As Guerrero's bunt is landed and is thrown to first base, and he is out.
Well, that successful sacrifice there to advance the run in the second. So we got only one out here, bottom of the second. The team coming out to congratulate him.
And we have Salmon up at bat for the second time as they are going through the rotation again. And swing and a miss as the heater gets him. He is 0-1 in the count. The Scalisi's pitch is low, but it's called a strike, and looks like Yoder throws to second base, but it is not in time, so he is safe at second. And
Middle Creek was very lucky there because he has a big lead. Lucky to get back there in time.
As Salmon goes 0 for 3 for the Mustangs, and it is 2 outs to go in this inning for the Mustangs. As Herring is up at bat again for the Mustangs. As Scalisi's pitch is called a strike, so Herring is 0-1.
Herring, first time up he had that hard hit out there in the outfield, which started that, rally of runs there.
So now Herring is 0-2 after the swing and a miss. And Herring fouls that ball, so he is still 0-2 in this count.
So we got 2 outs here from Middle Creek. Got a runner at second. And Keenan Herron here with 2 strikes, no balls. Very lucky there.
Yeah, he's lucky he didn't call that another strike, because if that was a strike, it was over for them in this inning. So he is 1-2 right now in the count. As Herring blasted into the outfield, and it drops for Herring. So he is going to have a single out of that after the error as a missed catch by one of the Green Hope outfielders to advance another runner. So now the Mustangs are up 4-0. He got lucky twice there. You know, they didn't call a strike on that one, and then he gets the lucky missed ball by one of the Green Hope outfielders. So Mustangs up 4-0 with 2 outs to go.
You know, if the left fielder there went for the basket catch dive instead, he probably would have had that chance and grabbed the ball, but he went, straight up with it and didn't he kind of captured it instead on the ground.
Squeezy's first pitch is a strike, so 0-1 for Boyd.
Good job, buddy.
And as Herring tries to steal second, but he is called out. So that is it for the Mustangs, as the Falcons are going to take the bat, and we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. You're watching the Sports Walk. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, as the start of the 3rd inning is away, and the Falcons look to take bat as they set Jones to the plate as he takes the first at-bat of this inning.
Mustang here with the lead, 4-0.
As Jones rips one foul, and it is going to go out of the ballpark, so he is 0-1. So Jones at bat as Edwards throws, and it is called a foul ball, so 0-2 for Jones.
Another foul right here at the backstop. Luckily, there's a net here. There's 2 strikes on him now.
As Harden is called foul ball, so he's still 0-2 in his count.
Just the left side of the third base bag. A little blooper.
Whoa! Third place missed there, Blue.
Edwards pitches a little bit to the right, and it is called a ball, so 1-2 for Jones in the count.
And Green Hope's got Yoder there up on deck, their catcher.
Don't lose him. Come get him.
You know, the fans didn't really like that call last time, though.
As Edwards pitches ripped foul again, and it is going to go in the parking lot, so
Hopefully it didn't break a windshield.
that would be pretty bad. So the count now is 2-2 for Jones. as he swings and a miss. So Edwards gets another strikeout as there is one out in this inning.
You know, that's back-to-back innings now with the first out being a strikeout. You know, hopefully that helps them out this inning, and they don't give up, you know, any base hits or nothing. Just strike them out.
So we have Harden up at bat for the Falcons. As Edwards pitches to the left a little bit and is called for a ball. And Harden fouls the ball off and he just tips it a little bit, so it's going to be called a strike, so 1-1 for Harden. The ump just dusting the plate off a little bit.
You know, my correction from before, it was Harden up at deck, and Yoder is in the hole, so now Yoder is on deck.
As Harden swings and a miss, so he is 1-2 in the count up in the third inning. As Edwards throws one in the dirt, so now 2-2 for Harden. Edwards has his pitch hit, and Harden is going to get a single out of that.
You know, that was in the hole there from third and short. Severies tried to grab it, but you know, right under his glove. But luckily, Colin Pelosi, our shortstop, you know, grabbed it. You know, he tried to throw it to first, but he wasn't close to make that single.
So now we got runners on first, and now we have Yoder up at plate, up at bat, excuse me, and Edwards looking to get out of another inning as he swings the ball and retreating back, and he catches it. So we have an out for the Mustangs as we still have just one runner on first.
It was a great catch there for our left fielder to keep the runner there at first as well, making it 2 outs.
So now we have Prevost at bat, and Edwards looking to close the inning out with no harm done. And Edwards pitches a little bit in the dirt, and it is called for a ball.
And we got Dirks for Green Hope on deck, the DH. Maybe we'll see some power out of him. Oh, and a great pick off there.
As Edwards threw to first, hoping to get, was it Yoder? And it was, yes, Yoder out at first base, and he did. So that was a great heads-up play by Edwards to get him out at first to close the inning again with no harm done.
So we got Green Hope Scalisi out there warming up. And we got Jimmy Boyd going to be up at bat now for the Mill Creek Mustangs. Austin Parker on deck. And Tyler Scholars in the hole. And they still got that 4-0 lead against Green Hope. And we're in the bottom of the third.
I don't know.
So Middle Creek playing really well to start this game off, and you know it's the 4 runs and you know just the catches in the outfield and the pickoffs. You know it's been working out really well for them tonight.
Yeah, the offense and defense all around playing is going on, and that's what you need in the team who wins.
So now we're getting ready to start in the bottom of the third, as Boyd is getting ready to start the bottom of the third off for the Mustangs.
You know, he did go up at bat there in the bottom of the second, but Keenan Herring got, caught there running for second. So he's up again.
As he rips one foul. So he's going to be 0-1.
beautiful night here for baseball.
As Skilsey throws one in the dirt, so it's going to be 1-1 for Boyd. Skilsey with the windup and just a little bit to the right, so it's going to be ball number 2 for Boyd. Scalisi with the windup and again a little bit to the right, so it's going to be ball number 3 for Boyd. Boyd fouls one again in the same spot, so it's going to be 3-2, so we got a full count from Boyd. Scalisi's pitch is ripped in the infield, in the outfield, excuse me, and he's going to get a single out of that.
You know, the diving infielder there, shortstop, right under his glove. You know, went right to the center field.
So we have Parker up at bat for the Mustangs.
We got Shirley here up on deck. And Severi's in the hole.
As Skilsey's pitch is called a strike, so Parker is 0-1. Skilsey's second pitch is a strike, so Parker is 0-2.
You know, Jimmy there taking a pretty decent lead. So it doesn't look like he's going to really go much.
Skilsey's pitch is in the dirt for a ball, and Boyd steals second, so he is on second base now with Parker's count at 1-2.
You know, Jimmy taking a big lead out there in second. Nobody on him at all.
Parker rips one to the outfield, and it is going to be dropped by Greenhope once again. So Parker is going to get a single out of that.
Looked like a little communication error there with the second baseman and the right fielder. They were both running out there. Nobody called, I got it. And that's what happens. Ball's dropped. Luckily, there was no collision there, though.
So runners on first and second for the Mustangs, and we have Scholler up at bat for the Mustangs. As Skilsey's first pitch is a strike from the missed bunt attempt by Scholler, so he is 0-1. And Scholler's bunt is tipped and fouled, so he is 0-2 now to start off his at-bat.
You won't see him bunting again, though, so he's going to now swing away. Still none out here in the bottom of the third. Runners at first and second.
As Skilsey's heater is called for a ball, so 3-2 for the Mustangs.
No, it's 1-2. You know, the scoreboard there, they're messing it up a little bit.
As Schollers sends one to the outfield and is caught by Greenhope for the first out of this inning.
Runners didn't advance, they stayed. It was a great run there for right field. He had a far way to go on the, you know, the foul line there.
So now we have Edwards up at bat. And Skilsey's pitch is in the dirt, so 1-0 for Edwards. with runners at first and second base for the Mustangs.
We got Sal Severese for the Mustangs on deck.
The skill sees pitches right down the middle for a called strike.
Runners advancing.
As Boyd and Parker steal bases, so Boyd is at third base now and Parker is at second base off the 2 steals. So with the count 2-1, Edwards at bat.
Now, all he really needs is a base hit. He'll definitely score Boyd out there at third. But, if it's in the outfield, he could score 2. As long as they keep advancing runs, it's all that matters. Extending that lead.
As skill sees pitches called for a ball, So Edwards in a good situation right now with 3 balls and 1 strike. As Edwards fouls it deep, so he is now at a full count at 3-2. Skielsy's pitch is swung, and he is going to get brought in the infield, and he's going to get tagged out for just the second out of this inning. But he scores a run, so the Mustangs up 5-0 in the bottom of the third.
It was right to the first baseman. It was a great sacrifice, though. Scoring another run there for them, making it 2 outs. And Parker also advanced from second to third on that one.
Skielsy's pitch is called for a strike. So 0-1 for Savarese.
We got Alex Williams on deck there for the Mustangs.
Savarese swung on and a miss, so
Head up there, 9.
he is called for a strike, so he is 0-2 now. Skielsy's pitch is a little low, so 1-2 for Savarese. Skielsy puts one right down the middle to call Savarese for the out and the last out of that inning. So the Falcons look to come into the top of the 4th, looking to trying to score some runs. They're down 5-0, and Middle Creek's just playing really well right about now, and it's just, it doesn't seem like you can stop them right now. So Edwards is looking to take the mound now and just get warmed up a little bit as the Green Hope players are getting talked to by their coach, just to try to see what's going on, see what he can do to help it out, and to see if anything else is going on. I mean, Edwards is pitching real well tonight, and it just seems like you can't really hit off him.
Even though Middle Creek's winning 5-0, Green Hope is also playing a great game though. It's just, again, those hits out there in the pockets, and it's really not helping Green Hope at all.
Yeah, they're not getting lucky at all with those errors in the outfield, miscommunication, and it's just, it'll happen. Just, there's nothing you can't fix.
So we got Dirks for Green Hope on deck, and we got
it looks like we have number 21 Prevost coming up for the Falcons, as he will lead off the inning for the Falcons.
after that pickoff there from Edwards to get Yoder out for the 3rd out, so he's going to be up again. So let's see if he could do it again. 3rd inning in a row with a strikeout.
Edwards' first pitch of the inning is a strike. So Prevost 0-1. Pitch a little high, so he's going to be 1-1 as the count. And he swings and a miss, so he is at 1-2 right now. He seems a little frustrated at himself for swinging at that one, but he looks at this neck pitch, and it is a called strike. So Edwards struck him out for the first out of the inning.
Third time in a row there for him.
So we have Dirks at bat for the Falcons. As Edwards winds up in, it's called for a ball, so 1-0 for Edwards, or excuse me, Dirks. Strike called by the umpire, so 1-1 for Dirks.
Got Greenhope's pitcher there, Scalisi, up on deck.
So pitch was in the dirt, so 2-1 for Dirks. A swing and a miss, so Dirk is now 2-2 in this count.
You know, Edwards looking really good here in the top of the fourth. With back-to-back strikeouts, matter of fact.
So Edwards gets him swinging for the second out. And, you know, so now we have Greenhope's pitcher, Skilsey, up at the bat. And, Edwards is looking to get a 1-2-3 inning here for the Mustangs. Edwards' pitch is fouled.
Looks like it deflected off the catcher's helmet there. Shoulders, shaking his head a little bit. Woke him up. Yeah, Coach Thompson there seeing if he's all right. Looks like he's okay. He's back in.
So 0-1 for Skilsey. As he rips one down the middle, but it is caught for the last out in the inning, and he was pretty close to getting a home run off that. I mean, if he had a little bit more power on that, I mean, he could have added some run support for himself. So now the Falcons take the field as Skilsey is going to look to come out and pitch once again.
We got Greenhope's got a new pitcher here.
I mean, number 6 for Greenhope, as you know, we got Yoder at catcher warming him up. As Wingate is at pitcher for the Falcons. So he takes over for Skilsey, and he is done for tonight. And Greenhope is trying to get a fresh arm in there as Williams is up at bat for the Mustangs here in the bottom of the fourth.
Still, they got that 5-0 lead going. You know, Edwards with a great inning there. Back-to-back strikeouts. And then, you know, hard hit there to left field, but nice grab. Make it the third out.
So Greenhope just trying to get just a fresh arm out and just see if anything is different, and trying to just help him out a little bit and just bring a new pitcher in. Maybe he was a little bit rattled, or I think he was just done for tonight. So they will bring out a new pitcher, and we are going to start the bottom of the fourth right now.
Leading off for Middle Creek, the second baseman, Alex Williams.
So we got Guerrero on deck there for the Mustangs. And then in the hole is David Salmon back to the top of the order. You know, Green Hope's coach, it's just confirming that, you know, the pitching change there with the umpire. They're saying everything's all right, and they're good to go.
So Wingate is looking to throw his first pitch of tonight to Williams, and his first pitch is swung on and is a miss. So first pitch is a strike for him tonight, and Williams is 0-1. And his second pitch is fouled, so he is now 0-2.
A little late there. You know, right back up the backstop here. Quicken that swing up a little bit.
As Wingate winds up and Williams swings it, and it is caught, and it is thrown to first base for an out.
You know, looked like Green Hope got that lucky bounce there, the second baseman. It like bounced off the grass and right into his glove. To help him out a little bit there with the first out.
So now we have Guerrero up at bat for the Mustangs. As Wingate's pitch was a little bit low, so it was called for a ball. As Guerrero fouls one, and he is now 1-1.
Got one out here at the bottom of the fourth. Mill Creek still up 5-0.
As Guerrero's pitch, or excuse me, Wingate's pitch was a little bit high. So now it'll be his second ball of this at bat. Guerrero swings and a miss, so he's now even at 2-2.
You know, Mustangs bench there. They're all cheering for Guerrero, excuse me.
As he swings at that, and he is called for out. So 2 outs to go, or excuse me, 2 outs in this inning as Salmon looks to take the plate for the Mustangs. So Salmon warming up.
We got Keaton Harry, you know, on deck, and then Jimmy Boyd in the hole.
As Salmon rips one in the infielder and is out. So at the end of this, still 5-0 Middle Creek going into the top of the 5th. And we are going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're watching the Sports Walk. Welcome back to the top of the 5th inning here at Mustang Field, as Edwards is still pitching for the Mustangs, and Waters is at bat for the Falcons as he looks to tip off the top of the 5th. Edwards' pitch is a little high, so it is called for a ball.
You know, let's see if he still's got that rally going. The first out strikeout. He's been doing it in the past 2 innings.
And Edwards' pitch is right down the middle, so it is called for a strike. Edwards' pitch is swung on and is missed, so that is called for a strike. Another swing and a miss, so that is Edwards getting another strikeout right there, and Waters with the strikeout. So 1 out to go, or excuse me, 1 out in the 5th inning, as Bradley for the Falcons is looking to bat against Edwards.
You know, he's still keeping that streak up going, though. The first out strikeout.
Bradley swung and a miss, so 0-1 for him.
Went out here in the top of the 5th. Mustangs up 5-0.
And Edwards is a little left with that, so it's called for a ball. Again, a little bit low, so it is called for a ball. And Bradley tips that one foul, so now he's even at 2-2. So Edwards looking to get another strikeout here. And he does. He gets Bradley swinging. So another strikeout for Edwards as the Mustangs have 1 more out to go in this inning. So now we got Patora up at bat for the Falcons.
And Taylor Jones is on deck there for the Falcons.
As Patora is calling for time. So Edwards swing. No, he did not swing, and is called for a ball, so 1-0 for Patora. He swing and a miss for Patora, so 1-1. Edwards wind up and swung on and is called for a strike. Edwards throws it in the dirt, and a good block by the catcher, so 2-2 for Patora. Swung and it is hit foul, so count is still even at 2-2. And he swung on it, and it is in the dirt, so he will advance to first.
You know, the third drop rule there. Third strike, drop it in the dirt. He can advance the run, but just got right under the catcher there and all the way back to the backstop, so he can get that easy advance to first. And that counts as a single.
That's the first. I think that's the first hit I've seen Edwards give up in a couple of innings now. He's just pitching really well tonight. as Jones is up at bat for the Falcons, and he is 0-1 to start his at bat.
You got John Harden there on deck for the Falcons. You know, Parker there at first, making sure he doesn't go anywhere.
As Edwards' last ball was called as a ball.
And, you know, catcher missed it. The runner advanced to second. It was really close of hitting him there.
So he advances to second after the misthrown ball by Edwards.
You know, they really only need one out here. So as long as you work the batter and don't worry about the runner, they should really get it here.
And as Jones fouls that one, so he is now 2-2. Edwards is looking to strike him out and throws it in the dirt again. So he is now at a full count, 3-2.
Great save there by Scholler behind the plate. Definitely a hard position there.
And again, Jones fouls it deep over there. And he is still at a full count right now, 3-2. Looking to try to bring the Falcons back just a little closer in this game, as they are still down 5-0. As he rips one down to the outfield, and he is thrown out at first. So that was a little scare for the Mustangs, but it got the job done, and they are out of that inning with no harm done, as they are going into the bottom of the fifth.
Still leading there, 5-0. And we got Keenan Herron going to be up at bat, and then Jimmy Boyd on deck, and Austin Parker in the hole. So that's a big bat, big bat group right there. They all have hit it deep, and they all advanced runners, and scored as well.
So we have Wingate just warming up a little bit and trying to get his arm ready to go as he faces the Mustangs, and his first batter will be Herring.
He's also a dangerous base runner, though, because he's got that speed and agility. But, you really can't do anything because you got big hitters coming up and, back-to-back great base runners.
So Herring is looking to go first at bat for the Mustangs.
Really 2 more innings to go here in this game. Mustangs still up 5-0.
Wingate's pitches in the dirt, so 1-0 for Herring. That is called for a strike. So now he's even at 1-1. That pitch was a little high. He was tempted to swing on it, but he didn't. So 2-1 for Herring.
And like I said before, you got Jimmy Boyd there up on deck. Looks like he's ready to rock and roll.
Herring rips one high in the air in the outfield, and it is caught this time by the Green Hope outfielder for the first out of this inning. So Boyd looking to take his first at bat of this inning with 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. As that pitch is a little high, so this calls for a ball. And he rips that one foul. So he is even right now at 1-1.
Got 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. Middle Creek up 5-0.
As Boyd rips that one foul. It was close, but he ripped it really well in the left side foul. So 1-2 for Boyd now as he looks to get a hit now. As Boyd fouls that one back, and that one came pretty close to us, but luckily for that net.
Yeah, it scared our teacher here, Mr. First. He was a little nervous.
As Wingett's pitch is ripped down the left line, but it is called foul. So still 1-2 for Boyd here at his at bat.
You know, it's a great battle he's given them there. He's got 1-2. And he's really looking to rip it hard out there. Staying alive, though. Got Parker on deck there, and then you got Scholler in the hole.
And Boyd rips it foul once again, and that one was in the woods, so umpire looking for another ball. As Wingate lines up. And Boyd rips this one in the outfield, and it is missed by our Green Hope outfielder, so he will take a double off of that. And that was a great hit. It looked like the Green Hope defender had that at first, and then he just lost it and went right over his head. But I know Jimmy's really happy about that hit.
It almost looked like, the left fielder for Green Hope. He's, kind of the lights there. Because he was lined up perfectly, and it just kind of went right over his head.
Now back to Middle Creek. Number 10, the first baseman, Parker.
So they ruled that one there. Jimmy's hit there an error, and he advanced to second on that one. He's taking a big lead there at second.
As Wingate's pitch is called ball, so 1-0 for Parker. The same spot again for Wingate, so 2-0 is the count for Parker.
It looks like the Falcons over there are warming up a new pitcher. Number 17 there, Yoder. It's looking like he's getting a little warm-up action there. You might see him go in the next inning or two.
Parker hit that one foul, so 2-1 is the count for him.
Still 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th.
And another foul ball, so even count right now at 2. And Parker hits that one up in the air in foul territory, but it is caught by a Falcon defender, or excuse me, outfielder.
By the first baseman, actually.
Excuse me, the first
He went out there.
baseman. So 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th for the Mustangs as they look for Tyler Scholars to get a base hit here to hopefully advance Boyd further. As he hits it down the middle and it jumps up from the Falcon defender, and it is ruled another error.
You know, Jimmy scoring from second, getting that RBI single there on Scholars. You know, that unlucky hop right over the second baseman's head.
So now Middle Creek is up 6-0 with 2 outs to go in the bottom of the 5th.
And we got Sal Severies there on deck.
As Edwards ripped it down the outfield, and it is caught this time by a Green Hope outfielder, so that will end the inning with Middle Creek up 6-0. So Green Hope looking to bat this time, looking to get, a little bit, trying to get something going, because, they haven't scored at all. I mean, they've had some really good opportunities to score, but nothing yet. They've had the bases loaded in 1 inning, and they've had 2 men on bases, and it just hasn't worked out for them at all tonight. It's just things haven't been falling their way.
No, and it's looking like Edwards is staying in it for another inning. He could go the whole game, though, because he's pitching amazing for them. So he's warming up there. Still looking pretty good, though. Maybe he'll keep that. Hopefully he'll keep that rally for that first strikeout again. That'd be nice to see. And we got, it looks like Harden for Green Hope is going to be taking the bat here for the top of the 6th.
So Harden at bat for the Falcons. And Edwards still at bat. So see if he keeps going throughout the game. And here in the top of the 6th, Harden leading off for the Falcons. And he hits that one foul. So he will start this one off 0-1. And that is a called ball for Edwards. So Harden has this even at 1. He's swing and a miss, so a strike for Edwards.
And on deck it's looking like number 1 Gilbert is going to be taking place of Yodders in the lineup there. So that's the first time we'll be seeing him tonight.
As Harden hits that one at shortstop, but Guerrero is there for the long throw and gets him out. So just 1 out for the Mustangs in the top of the 6th. So Gilbert is up at the plate.
And on deck, another new batter for Green Hope there is Newbold, number 9.
Edwards gets a strike on that. And Gilbert hits that one foul, so 0-2 for Gilbert. And throws that one in the dirt, so 1-2 for Edwards right now. Swing and a miss, so he strikes him out. And that is the 2nd out of this inning, as Edwards is playing just a well-rounded game today. So Newbold gets a ball on that call, so 1-0 for him. And another ball for Edwards, so 2-0. The third ball in the row for Edwards, so he is now 3-0 with 2 outs to go left in the top of the 6th. And a heater right down the middle for Edwards, so strike. 3-1 is the count.
And I believe that's the first walk there for Edwards out of this whole game.
So a runner on first for the Falcons and 2 outs. And it looks like Coach Thompson is looking to talk to Edwards to see if he wants to stay in the game or not.
And looks like that they're going to, pull him out of the game for a little bit here. Yeah, he pitched very well.
So it looks like they're going to put Jordan Towler on the mound to close this game for the Mustangs.
Jordan Toller.
So as he gets warmed up, they're going to give Edwards the rest of the game off. And Green Hope is just practicing their batting swings as Brunson warms up Towler to just get him ready to start. And it looks like we're going to have a catching change here as well.
It looks like Edwards is going to take over first there for Parker. So it could be that Parker's going to be behind the plate now.
So he's trying to just switch things up, get some different people some playing time, and just keep people fresh.
Yeah, and in our previous catcher, Scholars, is now going to look like play third and replace Severies. So a little defensive change there. And it's still 2 outs here in the top of the 6th, and the Mustangs are up 6-0.
So a runner at first for the Falcons. And Towler looks to close this game for the Mustangs. As the umpire dusts the plate off to start.
Number 5, Vincent O'Donnell.
As Towler's first pitch is in the dirt. And it's called for a ball, and the runner at first base steals to second as Parker's throw is a little late. So he will advance. As Towler throws another ball, so 2-0.
Good job.
fouls that one. So the count now 2-1 for Adona. He fouls that one in the same spot, so count is 2-2. Towler's throw is
Good job.
In the
swung
dirt.
on and tipped, so he tags Adona out for the last out of that inning. And looks like the Mustangs are getting ready to take bat.
We're going to the bottom of the sixth here. You know, get some offense. They're still leading 6-0 here. And it looks like new pitcher here for the Falcons. We got Yoder. He was the previous catcher.
So Yoder looks to warm up. And the bottom of the sixth here, we have Middle Creek looking to take the bat. As we have
It's looking like the new pitcher there, Jordan, is going to be taking. It's going to go up at bat now for Severies, who is now, I assume, out of the game. And now, the Falcons' new catcher is Newbold, who took over Yoder, who now is on the mound.
Now pitching the greenhouse. Thomas York.
So the Mustangs look to start off this inning with Towler at bat. And it looks like the Mustangs are in complete control of this game. And
Still leading here, 6-0. Bottom of the sixth. They got 1 inning to go here. The Falcons really have to come back.
And looks like Williams is right after Towler in that order, so
And it's going to take the last warm-up pitch, the throwdown. And now the bottom half of the inning's on its way.
Leading off for your Middle Creek Mustangs, the pitcher number 17, Jordan Towler.
as Towler hits that one in the outfield, and it is caught for the first out of this inning. So Williams looks to take the plate for the Mustangs.
Pitcher number 8, Alex Williams.
And it looks like Guerrero is going to be on deck there for the Mustangs.
Williams fouls that one off, so 0-1 to start. As Yoder lines up. Another foul ball by Williams at 0-2.
And it looks like Guerrero's not going to bat anymore. He's going to be out of the game. And Daniel Sandiford is going to take his spot.
As Yoder's pitch is thrown a little bit over Williams, so the count now 1-2. Yotter's pitch is. Looks like he's hit by that pitch, so he will advance to first as Sandiford is up at bat.
Looked like it deflected off his thigh a little bit there. Standing a little bit. It looks to be okay. So on deck is top of the order again, David Salmon.
These are the catchers just talking to Yotter just to see what's going on. As Sandiford gets ready to take his first swings of this game.
You got one out here in the bottom of the 6th. You got a runner at first. And Mustangs still up 6-0.
Yotter's ball is thrown a little low. Called a ball. As Sandiford rips that one into the outfield, but the outfielder makes a diving catch to record the out. So the Mustangs now have 2 outs in this game. And Salmon is up at bat.
I'm keeping that runner there at first, not advancing. So we got Keenan Herron on deck and Jimmy Boyd there in the hole.
As Salmon fouls that one onto the net to have the first strike. They called ball, so the call is now even at 1. He swings and a miss, so that is another strike. And with 2 outs to go, he has a count of 1-2. Yotter lines up, and Williams is stealing, but the hit is tipped foul. So Williams will go back to first base. As Salmon rips that one fair into the outfield, and he gets a double out of that and advances Williams to third base. So now we have Herring up at bat, looking to advance these runners. Yotter throws that one in the dirt. 1-0 is the count with 2 outs.
Runners to score in position there, second and third. Base hit will score 1.
As Herring rips that one over the outfielder's head, and he will score 2. So now he advances to second on that double, and the Mustangs lead 8-0.
This is a great, great line drive to the second baseman, right over his head, for Herron to get that stand-up double, scoring 2 RBIs. So now we got Jimmy Boyd here up at the plate. And he was hacking them before. A lot of foul balls, though, last time up.
So that is called for a ball for Boyd.
And now our new catcher, Austin Parker, is on deck.
As Boyd rips that one deep in the outfield, and that is caught for the last out of this inning. And We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. You're watching the Sports Block. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the top of the 7th inning and the last inning of this game. And the Falcons will look to take the bat as Towler has his first pitch ripped foul.
Looks like the Falcons got a new batter there, Walsh, number 19. You know, all the Mustangs have to do is get this first half out of the way, and game's over.
Towler throws that ball and is called for a ball, so 1-1 is the count. And that is a called strike, so 1-2 is the count for Towler. He throws that one just a little low, so the count is now even. And he gets a glove on that one, but just can't get enough of that, as that was that was Alex Williams there to make the stop and the throw to first base to get him out. So with one out, they just have 2 outs left to go, and they are in the clear. So let's see if Towler can get this done. His pitch is a little high, so called ball. Again, a little low, so that's another ball. That is a ball. He throws that one right down the middle, so that is a called strike with the count being 3-1. And he walks number 11, that is Waters. So runners on first base.
Now back to Green Hope, center fielder number 15, John Bradley.
So Bradley is up at the plate. This Towler again throws it in the dirt.
So we got 1 out here, runner at first. Middle Creek's still up 8-0.
He tries to pick him off at first, but it's no good, so he will line it up and a strike. So now the even count is 1-1. For Bradley. Bradley hits it to first base, and it is out. So 2 outs to go, or excuse me, 2 outs they have recorded, and they just have 1 out left.
Now back for Green Hope, number 3, Aaron Marcheco.
Number 3 for Green Hope is up at bat, Marchetto. As Tyler throws that one right down the middle. It's a called strike. And he swung on that one and he missed. So that is a called strike, and he is now on the hole at 0-2. As Towler gets him swinging. And that is the end of that game as the Mustangs win that one 8-0. And we are going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. You are watching the Sports Block. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for some quick after-the-game stats. We have Graham Edwards, the pitcher, pitching a near-perfect game. And he gets the win, and the Mustangs win 8-0. And what did you think about this, Mike?
You know, he was like an ace pitcher out there. He pitched 6 innings. He had a lot of strikeouts. It was like 4 innings where he had the first out was a strikeout. And the offense really came out there with the big first inning with 3 runs, and they were just getting the bats out deep in the outfield. And, the Falcons having a little errors. And I didn't see anything wrong with it, though. They definitely looked like a team, and they were ready to play more.
And that is it for us here. For Mike Caldarelli, I'm PJ Bellantoni. And so long.